Hello guys, what's up, what's up? Nakapag-create ako ng panibagong TikTok nang gamit ko yung Kamatis Analysis Unit. Ba't ganun? What's happening? So, kinano ko kasi ito, tapos bigla nawawala. So, gumawa ako, tinry ko, i-login yung email account ko, no? Tapos, na-login ko naman. Tingnan natin, TikTok.
Nakipagtsyug.
Ayan, no? Ay, anong nangyari? Lu. Nangyari? Oh. Tapos, nakalagay dito, edit profile. Michael Machate. Ay ko dito. Oh. Pinoy Pragmatist. Pragmatism PH. Ba't ganun? Ayaw. Pwede ko na ulit iba. Hindi ko alam kung ano nangyayari. Hindi ko pwedeng baguhin eh. Oh. Michael Machate. New one daw. Ayaw din. OT. Machate. Ayaw din. Ganun, niluloko ko nitong ano ah. Ba't ganun? So, anyway, punta na tayo dito. Maganda yung sagutan nila, gagi. Actually, isa rin pala ito sa proof na dinaya kay ni Nico David sa options. Pakinggan nyo to ha. Let's go.
Yo SOY at sa mga SOY army ko dyan sa buong Pilipinas, ano? Meron tayong react na video galing kay Queen HERA. Shoutout Queen HERA, no? Diba sabihin natin panoorin?
So, duman to sa FYP ko. Hindi ko siya kilala, pero I think meron silang arguments ni Meiko before. And I'm sure si Meiko yung natatama niya dito. Nagbibigay ng relationship tips sa mga babae, pero lagi ka niloloko ng mga lalaki.
Paano mo na sure na si Meiko tinutukoy ko dyan? Wala nga ako binanggit na pangalan. Yan, dami-daming female influencer sa Pilipinas. Ang dami-daming feminist sa Pilipinas. Paano mong sinabing si Meiko? Ba't kayo nagdadrop ng name? Ba't kayo nagtutukoy ng tao? Wala naman ako tinutukoy dyan. General yan, para sa kalahatan yan ng mga female influencer. No? Huwag kayong magbigay ng pangalan, huwag kayong magturo ng kung sino-sino dyan dahil lang sa isip ninyo, okay? Kaya magbigay ng ganun. Saka, imposibleng di mo ako kilala, kilala mo ako. Ikaw ang hindi ko kilala dahil ngayon lang kita nakita. Tinag ka sa akin.
So, dinaya na naman kayo ni Nico David. Kasi, yung dalawang options niya, yung dalawang ano lang daw, yung parang, yung matunog yung pangalan, is Queen HERA, tsaka si Meiko, right? Ngayon pala, hindi pala option si HERA. So, niloko kayo. Hindi niya kilala si, Queen HERA. O, di niloko kayo. Ang galing talaga ni Nico David sa ganyan, no? Isa lang pala option mo, si Meiko. Nico David talaga, oo.
Ng maraming mga SOY ko eh. Tuloy natin.
So, ang nakikita lang nito is yung pagbibigay ng advice ni Meiko sa ibang mga babae na hindi na niya na-apply sa sarili niya. Yun lang yung nakikita niya. Pero
No. Teka. Umagri ka muna doon sa nakikita niya. Bago ating pag-usapan yung hindi niya nakikita. Mali eh. Tapos kaagad usapan eh. Ano bang ibig mo sabihin sa nakikita niya lang? Disagree ka ba sa nakikita niya lang o hindi? Kasi kung nag-agree ka naman pala sa ito lang yung nakikita niya, mag-agree ka muna sa nakikita niya. Daddy mo talaga, chibi, oh. Defensive agad. Relax lang. Relax lang. Mag-agree ka muna. Pag-usapan niyo muna yung nakita niya. Agree ka ba o hindi? Kasi kung agree ka, tsaka lang natin pag-usapan yung hindi niya nakikita. Pero kung hindi ka agree, dun mo tayo sa nakikita niya. Kasi yung point. Kasi napaka-unproductive na pumunta sa hindi ko nakikita kung hindi ko alam kung agree ka muna sa nakikita ko. Right? Ay nako.
hindi niya nakikita si Meiko na mas lalaki pa sa karamihan ng mga lalaki.
And that is the problem. Oh my goodness. Paano, unang-una, that's debatable. Okay? paano mo naman masasabi na mas lalaki pa siya sa lahat ng lalaki? So, that includes Elon Musk, right? Doon pa lang tapos ka na sa generalization. Sa karamihan dapat, sa karamihan ng mga lalaki. Okay? So,
pero hindi niya nakikita, si Meiko, na mas lalaki pa sa karamihan.
sa karamihan naman pala. Sorry, Queen Hera. Karamihan naman pala yung sinabi niya. Sorry. My fault. Strong, independent woman. Obvious na hindi niya kaila si Andy. Oh. Isa ka rin eh. Sorry na nga eh. Sorry na. Sinabi niya naman pala, na-correct ko naman yung sarili ko, okay? Sorry na, Queen Hera. Okay.
Yun lang yung nakikita niya. Pero hindi niya nakikita, si Meiko, na mas lalaki pa sa karamihan ng mga lalaki.
Okay. That's a better position. Sige. Sa karamihan ng mga lalaki. Okay. Maybe that's the problem. For some reason, this is, na Stroman bigla siya, kinorek ko na nga, tumigil ka na, nakorek ko na nga, di ba? Nakorek ko na. Karamihan sinabi niya, that's a better position. Okay, pero here's the problem. Are you ready? Who's ready? Press 1. There's a problem with what she said. Anong problema sa sinabi niya? Sige nga, ito.
Pero hindi niya nakikita, si Meiko, na mas lalaki pa sa karamihan ng mga lalaki.
Lalaki pa sa karamihan ng mga lalaki. Mas lalaki pa kaysa sa karamihan ng mga lalaki. Right? What's wrong with that? Sige nga. Use your deductive reasoning. What's wrong with what she said? Babae siya eh. Okay. Ano ibig sabihin kung babae siya? Anong point mo doon and sumigi? Sige, malapit ka. Sige, malapit ka. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with what she said? Intuition pa lang tapos na usapan. Parang trick question ah. Ano yung trick question? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Hindi siya pwedeng maging lalaki. No. The devil is in the detail. Alam niyo bakit? Because she's not a real feminist. Did you get it? Did you catch it? She's not a real feminist. Hindi siya feminist kasi nag-agree siya na mas lamang dapat ang lalaki. Ding. Ang gayang mo, Brighty. T.E. Yes. That's what it means. You're not a real feminist. Because the point of feminism is actually equality. Why are you putting lalaki at nilagay mo yung lalaki sa pedestal eh, right? Even you know it. That should be the order. Lalaki, babae, in the sense, unang-una physical strength. But if we're talking about authority, we're talking about this. Okay? Magkaiba silang role. Okay? Pero ikaw mismo, yung nag-put down sa babae. Sa physical, of course, wala tayong magagawa dyan. But intellectually, it must be equal. In everything else, it must be equal. In authority, in rights, must be equal. Right? It should be like that. You're so bright. Even you know. Dito pa lang tapos na usapan. Then why are you trying so hard to be lalaki na mas lalaki pa sa lalaki? Why are you trying to make that as an argument? Why are you trying to achieve that? Why? There's a question for you, Queen Hera. Do you think it's wrong to actually achieve that? Na maging lalaki pa sa lalaki? Then there's the problem. Diyan nag-stem yung problem. Instead of saying they're equal but different function, nilagay mo sa pedestal ang lalaki. Okay. Why? Parang sinabotehan niya sarili niyang ethos. Exactly. Exactly. That's what she did. Unang round pa lang, tapos na usapan. Bakit mo kailangan sabihin na mas lalaki pa siya sa karamihang lalaki? Are you saying na mababa ang babae? Because you just betrayed yourself. Para kang yung para kang yung LGBT na nag-ano ng seatbelt, 'di ba? Yung seatbelt. Yung sabay, pinakita yung sabay. Sa bisexual. Yun yung nag-betray sa kanila, yung bisexual. Because it means dalawa lang yung sex. You just prove it here. For some reason, you put down women. And then nilagay mo sa pedestal yung men. You just destroyed yourself. There it is. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Tingnan natin kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng mas lalaki pa sa lalaki. Okay? Okay, let's go.
Pero hindi niya nakikita, si Meiko, na mas lalaki pa sa karamihan ng mga lalaki.
Okay, what does that mean? I think hindi ibig sabihin sa physical because that is so obvious, right? Kapag inano mo yung pinakamagaling na MMA fighter na babae at pinakamagaling na MMA fighter na lalaki, laging talo ang babae. Right? Okay. So hindi physical pinag-usapan dito. It must be something else. Okay, what is it?
He's a good provider. No?
Okay, good provider.
Tingnan mo, siya pa gumastos ng kasal. Siya lang ang gumastos sa kasal.
Okay.
Eh di wow, okay. Ba't kailangan nyo isumbat yun? Eh kayo pumili ng lalaking walang pera eh. Diba? Good point, diba? Kayo
Parang sinabotahan niya sarili niyang ethos. Mas malaki katawan kaysa sa average lalaki.
ba't kailangan nyo isumbat yun? Eh kayo pumili ng lalaking walang pera eh. Diba? Good point, diba? Kayo
Good point, good point. Pero there's still an argument. There's still an argument to be made here. What makes you think na yung sinasabi mong mas lalaki pa sa lalaki, yung partner niya, she made it that way. She made her man weak. Kasi kung lifestyle sa lifestyle, maybe you're right. But if we're talking about providing, I think the man can do that. Hindi nga lang abot sa gusto mong lifestyle, but they can. Oo nga naman, bakit pumili ng wala? Tama. May point. Oh.
Kayo sumama sa lalaking walang diskarte, walang pera, gagastosan ninyo. May tumutok ba sa inyo ng kutsilyo? May tumutok ba sa inyo ng baril para pilitin kayong gumastos? Hindi. Kayo mismo naglabas ng pera eh. Kayo yung sumama sa mga palpak na lalaki eh. Tapos susumbat nyo na kayong gumastos. Natural, usually talaga kayo gagastos, especially kung 30 plus na kayong babae. Tapos, nakahanap kayo ng partner. Usually ganun eh.
Well, he's got a point. He's got a point, dude. Usually talaga ganun. Yung mga pa-last warning na yung babae, right? Kasi yun nga yung issue sa babae. Ang laban nila is yung beauty and yung youth. Yun yung laban nila. Hypothetical lang. So, kunyari magjowa kami ni Camille Villar, tapos sinagot na kasal namin, ibig sabihin, mas lalaki na siya sa akin. Parang ganon. Mr. Romualdez Tambi yata yung channel niya rin. Parang ganon na ibig niya sabihin. How about tinanggalan mo ng authority yung lalaki na mag-lead ng pamilya niya? You robbed him that right. Are you proud na mas lalaki ka pa kaysa sa lalaki? Why do you always want to surpass lalaki? What's with lalaki na you always want to surpass? What is it? So, mas lalaki pala ako kasi mas malaki sweldo ko sa jowa ko. Ganon. Ganon, mas lalaki ka. Pakita mo nga. Eh di mas babae na yung mga lalaking naging house husband. House husband? Oh. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan mo sila i-pamper. So, tama lang yung nangyari. Kasi sabi mo, mas lalaki na si di ba? Mas lalaki na si Meiko kaysa sa mga karamihan ng lalaki, including her husband. So, kung yun ang argument mo, isn't it fitting to pamper the guy? Kasi you just switch position. Authority. Authority. Ikaw yung mismong gustong-gusto maging lalaki na mas lalaki pa sa lalaki, right? Okay. E din kapag ginawa mo yung mas lalaki pa sa lalaki, ibig sabihin, you're gonna have to make your husband the babae. Then pamper her. Pamper him. So what's wrong with that? That's your choice, right? So dapat pinapamper mo yung lalaki talaga. Magkabal. Nawala pagkalalaki ko. Oo nga, Kuya Alex, no? Wanting to surpass men is already na admittance of inferiority. Sablay ka ate. Exactly. Ay, oo nga, mas macho ako kay Alex. Hindi yun eh. What is it with you that you really want to surpass men? Parang, it seems to me na parang may gusto kang patunayan sa lalaki. What? Why? Be careful what you wish for. Because you're going to sabotage your own relationship if you do that. There's a right order. Kung ikaw ay tunay na unang-una asawang babae, you will help your husband to be the king. Every wife is a kingmaker. You make your husband the king. Patay tayo, hindi yata ako tao. Do you understand that? But no. You would rather make the king submit to you. And you're happy. You're proud of that. mas lalaki pa pala yung asawa ko kasi mas malaki sweldo niya sa akin. Tapos siya nagpaalaga ng anak namin. Correct. Mas lalaki pala siya, di pag may nanloob sa bahay nila, siya humarap. Seriously, I'm just the background kasi nasa Bible yan na the husband is the one answers to God. Sabi nga, be like Sarah, right? Ito sabi sa Bible. Gawin mo katulad nyo kay Sarah. He called Abraham Lord. You can say sweetheart or like darling or Han. Can you actually say Lord? I don't think so. Gusto niyo yung Bible verse nun? Sige. Puntahan natin. Ito. First Peter chapter 3. Okay? Basahin natin ha. Wives, in the same way, submit yourselves to your own husbands, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without words by the behavior of their wives. When they see the purity and reverence of your lives, your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold, jewelry, or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit. Quiet spirit. Sabihin siguro ni Ryan, Patrick ba? Sabihin siguro ni Patrick, so much for quiet spirit. You're right. So much for quiet spirit. Beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. For this is the way the holy women of the past who put their hope in God used to adorn themselves. Tama ha? For this is the way the holy women of the past who put their hope in God used to adorn themselves. Ito na yung pinakamabigat sa lahat. They submitted themselves to their own husbands, like Sarah, who obeyed Abraham and called him her Lord. Damn. Small letter L naman. Hindi Lord capital L, okay? It's small letter L. Tama, ulitin natin ha. Ang ganda na simula eh. For this is the way the holy women of the past who put their hope in God used to adorn themselves. They submitted themselves to their own husbands, like Sarah, who obeyed Abraham and called him her Lord. You are her daughters if you do what is right and do not give way to fear. If you do not give way to fear. Ito naman yung sa husbands. Pero ito yung gusto ko sabihin sa inyo. They submitted themselves to their own husbands like Sarah, who obeyed Abraham and called him her Lord. Can you actually do that? See, my wife called me Lord. Yes, my Lord. In British accent. My wife called me Lord in British accent. See, maybe these red pillars like SOY sometimes go to extremes. Pero marami silang tamang sinasabi. Sabi nga nila, do not throw the baby with the throw the bathwater with the baby. Don't throw it. Don't throw it with the baby. Sir nga ang tawag ko kay Alex eh. Yung sir is modern eh. It's modern. More modern than the Lord, right? Don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. No, don't. Get the baby and throw the bathwater. Yung ibang feminists gagamitin nila yung gender equality para pag-convenience sa kanila. Pero she just betrayed herself. 'Di ba? Dahil why are you putting men the highest position? Shouldn't you be doing it like equal? Why are you doing that? What do you mean lalaki pa? Tamo si babae si ano, 'di ba? Babae si Meiko. Pag sinabi mong mas lalaki pa siya sa karamihang mga lalaki, what do you mean? Ito na ibig mo sabihin.
Pag financial 30 plus na kayong babae, tapos nakahanap kayo ng partner, usually ganun eh. Pag financially stable na babae na 30 plus, tapos yung lalaki walang diskarte, pero mahal sila, usually yun ang nagkakaroon ng ano, in-explain ko na yan, na madalas sa mga 30 plus, mid-30s, na babae na single,
Not sure, Sir Kayo, pero baka figurative lang yung mas lalaki pa sa lalaki. Ano ibig sabihin ng figurative? Kahit anong figurative sabihin mo dyan. Ano ibig sabihin ng figurative? Parang ang gusto nilang sabihin na mas responsable yung tinutukoy na tao. So, hindi responsable? Hindi responsable yung babae? Ganun ba? See, kahit anong gawin mo figurative yan or literally, kahit anong gawin mo bali-baliktad dyan, it has the same point. Bakit hindi niya sinabing mas responsable pa sa ibang babae? Bakit hindi ganun? Bakit sa lalaki? Kahit saan mo papunta niya, kahit figurative, kahit literally, iisa bagsak mo. You shouldn't use that. And maybe the problem is, mas lalaki ka pa sa mga lalaki. Maybe that's the problem. So same outcome, downplay ng mga babae. Exactly. Tsaka says who? Tamo in your own view as a feminist, why is it the job of the man to provide? Toxic femininity na yan. Na question lang. That's a valid question, right? Who says that the person who should provide is the man in your worldview? Who says that? Because you cannot use the Bible. Because the Bible says you submit. So you cannot use the Bible now. Because you will run in contradiction. So, according to what standard that the men should be the one providing? In what standard? Sabihin mo, well, throughout history, because throughout history, women couldn't even vote. They couldn't get jobs. It's a different ano ngayon, right? So, question ay, in what standard? Except from the Bible, because you will run in contradiction sa sinasabi mo. In what standard that the men should be the one providing for the family? Which standard? Narinig kasi nila kay Glock 9 yan dahil minsan mas lalaki pa sa lalaki ang bakla. Aha. Taken out of context, kanta ni Glock 9, pinasok sa narrative nila. Because lalaki naman ang mga bakla talaga. Yun yung point, right? Yan, wala akong problema niya. Mas lalaki pa sa lalaki. Okay, fine. Kasi that's like a poetic way of saying the responsibility. But again, that person is actually comparing a man, both biologically men. And that's fine. Pero ang issue ko dito is, since you already said na mas lalaki pa sa lalaki, which is already a violation of the biblical teaching, then what else do you have? Na sabihin na dapat yung mga lalaki ang nagpo-provide. Okay, debunk ka na dun. Because you have no proof. You have no evidence to say na mas lalaki pa sa lalaki si Meiko. Because she's the one providing. Well, according to who? According to whom na dapat yung lalaki yung nagpo-provide? Dun sa context mo. So, paano mo gagamitin niya na mas lalaki pa rin siya sa lalaki? You cannot. If you use logic, you cannot. Let's go.
Naghahanap na lang ng companion yan. Yung basta mahal mo ako, basta sasamahan mo ako, okay na yan. Hindi na baling palpak ka, hindi na baling hindi ka gwapo, wala na akong pakialam. Marami yung kilalang ganyan. Mid-30s ang kasama. Kahit walang sinabi yung lalaki, okay na yan.
Punta natin yung original. Ito.
Sa FYP ko, di ko siya kilala, pero I think meron silang arguments ni Meiko before. And I'm sure si Meiko yung pinatatamaan niya dito. Nagbibigay
Hindi nga raw
ng
siya,
relationship tips sa mga babae, pero lagi ka niloloko ng mga lalaki. Okay. So, ang nakikita lang nito is yung pagbibigay ng advice ni Meiko.
Yan weird sa mga feminist. Pag nagagawa nila yung normal na ginagawa ng mga lalaki, achievement sa kanila. Which is weird, right?
Sa ibang mga babae na hindi na niya na-apply sa sarili niya. Yun lang yung nakikita niya. Pero hindi niya nakikita si Meiko na mas lalaki pa sa karamihan ng mga lalaki. She's a good provider.
Okay.
No? Tingnan mo, siya pa gumastos ng kasal.
Oh,
Siya lang.
who says na dapat lalaki ang gagastos sa kasal? Again, wala ka na ng foundation ngayon. Kasi you cannot use the Bible now. If you're going to say tradition, hindi ka rin uubra. So what makes you think na because of those things, is mas lalaki rin siya sa lalaki? Who says that? Kasi lahat ng justification dito, okay, good provider. Siya rin gumastos sa kasal. Then?
Lang ang gumastos sa kasal.
Okay.
Good mom, good partner.
Good mom, good partner. Well, that's debatable. Kasi if she's a good partner, this shit wouldn't happen, right? Try nga nila umihi sa Arinola sabay-sabay, kaya lalaki yon. No, wait. What makes you think she's a good partner? Based on what? Kasi kami, we can see the effect. This is the effect that we're dealing with. How do you connect now na she's a good partner and this happened? That's just a claim. Lalaki pa sa lalaki, good mom. Yes. Lalaki pa sa lalaki, good mom. Great. That is just great.
Hindi niya nakikita. So yun lang yung nakikita nyo?
Oh, ayun na yung argumento? Doesn't matter yung gagastos. Depende palagi sa usapan yan. Hindi kawalan or gain kung sino man gagastos. Kaya nga parang I don't get it. Lumalabas kasi dito, everything you just said actually reflects you being materialistic. Right? Gastos, provider. It seems to me, what you're arguing is just a reflection of who you are. Why? Why are you arguing those things? Are those the only important things? No. You know what? Are those the important things? Mr. Jules, good provider partner is kind of questionable. Right? Ang nasabi mo lang sa amin is on the financial side. Well, it just reflects who you are. What kind of person you are. You are a materialistic person. That's what it means. Where's the other argument? Where's the more important ones? Where's the meaning? We're looking at the meaning kung ano yung nabigay ni Meiko na meaning sa relasyon nila. Meaning. We're talking about meaning, not finances, or not material things. Worth lang bang being a provider? I don't know. Kasi this is what you don't get. For some reason, you think Meiko will reach that kind of like sikat or success without the husband sacrificing. Well, it's no longer a sacrifice na kung babaero naman yung tao, right? Binawi niya rin. Good partner ba yung pinahiya yung asawa sa social media? Pero why are you forgetting this? Because there's a peace of mind, and then there's that kind of relationship na nagpo-put up si Patrick ba yung name, no? Yung Patrick, bakit tinanggal mo sa context yun? Ba't di mo to ina-approach as holistic? How do I prove na may kinalaman yung Patrick? Look at Meiko now. She's all over the place. She's breaking down. And I'm sure this is the peak sa kanya. Ito na yung peak sa kanya. Do you really think this won't affect her? Or whatever it is na sa paningin ng mga tao? Think about it this way. May argument sila. Totoo naman yun na you're giving us advice. And look at your relationship. Why are we going to listen? Why? Sabihin mo, well, iba naman yung sinasabi ko sa, yeah, again, sure. So how is that different? So we just Google it. We use ChatGPT then. Why? Because ChatGPT doesn't have any relationship. She never experienced it. That's better na walang experience yung tao and give the advice kaysa sa taong may experience but lahat ng ina-advise niya doesn't actually work on her because she's not doing it or whatever. There's no product to show. I would rather listen to the person who has no experience than the person with the experience but failing. It's like this. Tama. Ito, bigyan ko yung analogy why I said that. Kanino ka maniniwala? sa academe, those people who are good at theoreticals, or doon sa taong nagkasabi sa kung paano yumaman, right? Are you going to listen to the person with theoreticals? Kinuha niya lahat ng sinabi sa business books, or lahat ng finances, kailangan sino yung mga Warren Buffett, blah blah blah. Kayo makikinig pero hindi mayaman, ha? But he can say those things, he can rationalize bakit, blah blah blah, right? Or doon sa taong nagsasabi kung paano maging mayaman pero mahirap siya. Think about it. Kayo na makikinig. Would you rather listen and follow this person na mahirap? Hindi sinasabi niya kung paano yumaman? Or dun sa walang experience na hindi mayaman pero hindi humirap, but he's got the knowledge? I would rather listen to this one than this one. I'm assuming yung career ni Meiko, this is the peak. Doon ako sa may knowledge. Exactly. Doon ako sa may knowledge. You can have the knowledge even if you're single. Naku kayo, baka pumunta tayo sa discussion ng diploma versus diskarte. Well, yan yung idea din dyan. Pero ang diskarte is a positive thing, right? So, hindi sila equivalent. Why? Let me give you an example. A pastor, a preacher, can actually advise a couple based on a biblical knowledge, biblical teaching, kahit single siya. There it is. There it is. Parang yung nag-post sa YT, how to have million views in 10 days pero 12 years di umabot 10K. Mas gusto mo ba ang streetwise kayo? I don't even know what streetwise mean. Yung mabubuhay sa street pero hindi sa syudad, ganun ba ibig sabihin? Pero hindi sa bahay, hindi ko alam ibig sabihin streetwise. The whole I understand is a pragmatist or not. Kasi a pragmatist is good in practice. Every concept is evaluated through practice. If that's what you mean by streetwise, then okay. Pero ano ba yung ng hindi streetwise? Ano ba yung hindi streetwise? Yung nakatira sa street. Ayoko rin nun. Ayoko rin nun.
Dahil nag-a-advise siya at hindi niya ma-apply sa sarili niya, yun lang yun. So,
yeah, that's a big deal. Kasi that's hypocrisy or lying. Because if you really believe in what you're saying, you will apply it. And tell people, actually, I did this. Kasi ako ganito, di ba? Remember, ako ganito. Ako kasi, magkaiba, di ba? Ako kasi, hinahango ko sa experience ko. This is what I did. This is what we've done. This is what we did. My wife and I did this and did that. Did this and did that. It comes from experience. Okay? So, kung ang ibig mo sabihin is hindi niya ma-apply sa sarili niya, it means it is a freaking theoretical. Hindi mo hinango sa experience mo yon. Then, it makes us question, are you saying these things for the content or for the experience? Think about it. Because kapag ako nag-advise sa inyo tungkol sa relationship, I'm making sure Nangyari sa aming mag-isawa. Hinahango ko sa experience namin. Or, nahango ko sa experience ng iba because we counsel them. Pero, yung sinasabi mo dahil hindi niya ma-apply sa sarili niya, that's questionable. Why? So, saan pala galing yung mga advice mo? It's all theoretical bullshit. Nagigets nyo? Kasi, you're assuming, kapag ang mag-asawa, like for example, kaya kang mininunong at ninang ka, di ba? Pag pumunta ka doon, kapag ka nag-advise sa'yo yung tao, is because they experience it. Sino ang taong hiningan mo ng advice nang hindi experience? The psychiatrist, the psychologist, blah, 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 right? Because they know the theoretical side of things. So, ang tanong ko nga, who would you rather believe? The theoretical guy? Or the person saying it, pero failed? I would rather listen to the theoretical guy, which is the psychologist or the psychiatrist. Right?
Sobrang babaw nyo naman para pagtawanan nyo.
Hindi yun mababaw kasi iisipin mo saan galing eh. Parang ganito. Sige, ganito na lang. Para kang nag-advertise or nag-recommend ng isang brand na hindi mo ginagamit. Hindi mababaw yun. Mabigat yun. Pero not logically. Kasi logically speaking, kung ano yung sinabi niya, it's either true or false regardless of her experience. I get that. Pero ang question mo is, ano ba yon? Yun lang yung issue sa kanya? Mabigat din yun. Inductively, mabigat yun. Bakit? You have to think about it. Okay, so saan mo pala kinukuha yung mga advice mo sa amin? It's not inexperience because you don't apply them. Where did you get it? Is it sa article? Saan ba? Sa Cosmopolitan? Did you get it there? Where are you freaking getting it? Because I would rather listen to a person with experience na na-experience niya yun. And this is how he solved it. Or how she solved it. Parang food critic pero hindi marunong magluto. Pwede ka naman maging food critic nang hindi, ang layo naman ng Pepe Mahusay. Pwede ka naman maging food critic nang hindi marunong magluto. Because you actually judge it based on taste, not on based on how you do it. Ikaw naman. Ang layo naman nun. Nabasa niya sa women's health laws. Saan man ako Cosmopolitan? Come on. Me time ko to, bro.
Isang tao, dahil lang doon, hindi nyo nakikita kung gaano siya ka-good provider na kahit, I bet, hindi niya kayang ibigay yung buhay na binigay niya kay Patrick.
What kind of buhay? Yung magulo? Anong klaseng buhay? Yung buhay na it made you weak? Anong klaseng buhay? Yung hindi ka king? Sa pamilya nyo? That kind of life? Well, sa'yo na yung pera mo. without the integrity, without the dignity, because you always want to control me? Is that the life you're talking about? I don't like that. You go ahead. Be a billionaire. The hell I care. Be a billionaire if you want. Be a millionaire if you want. We don't care. You go ahead. Hindi ko gets yung sinabi niyang mababaw. So bakit pa siya nag-react ng ganyan kung mababaw lang pala? Parang food critic pero vegetarian yan, malapit na. Doon lang kayo nakafocus sa providing. Parang wala kang ibang masabi kundi providing. A lot of females fails to realize that money doesn't make a good man stay. Ito nga eh, which is really weird. Why? Because a man, a rich man, with a lot of money, busy sa trabaho, nagpapayaman, kung ang babae ay nagiging reason niya, I don't need your money. I need you. If you understand that, why can't you understand the reverse? Nakikita niyo kung gaano ka-weird ito? There are a lot of instances na mayaman yung lalaki. Pinapamper yung babae with a lot of things. And yet, not happy. And yet, hindi na feel na valued. Kung alam mo yun, why can't you do it in reverse? Giving the guy more money, lahat ng gusto niya, doesn't make your relationship good. Doesn't make your relationship healthy. Hindi ko maintindihan. If you understand the other side, a man, mayaman na lalaki, and then babae, then pinapamper siya na pinapamper, and the wife would say, I don't need your money. I need you. If you can understand that, why can't you understand the reverse? Tapos sila mga unang sumisigaw ng gender equality. Sa material lang siya nagko-concentrate, hindi general duties na isang side. I know. Wala siya ibang masabi kundi provider. Yung good relationship ba ng husband and wife or family is revolve lang ba sa ano? Sa providing? Ano to? Ayuda mentality? Let's put it in ayuda mentality. You keep giving them money and money and money and money. They're not happy. Why? Because they need job. They need job to actually recover their dignity. I'd rather marry a fast food girl that respects me and sees me and loves me regardless of what I can provide. I agree. I agree. Marriage doesn't only revolve in material things. Puro materialistic yung justification niya nga eh. My goodness. You have to realize. You have to realize you made your husband weak. Don't forget that. Pero hindi pwedeng pambili ng games ang pagmamahal. That is true too. Buti lang di ako mahilig sa games. I don't have to buy that. My goodness. Dapat sa pagyaman nila, sabay silang aangat regardless kung sino kumikita ng malaki. Exactly. Alam mo ba, the moment na nahuli mo dapat yung asawa mo the first time, you just stop everything. May pera ka naman ah. Then mong gawin mo? Bakuran mo yung asawa mo. Bantayan mo. Or go to church. You'll do everything to actually fix that marriage. And you're ready to walk away from that kind of pagiging influencer. Like what happened to Camille Prats, right? I admire that girl. Woman pala kasi kabatch ko yun halos, kabatch ng kuya ko. That's what she did, right? She surrendered everything. Her career. And if the material side of the marriage is short on the man's side, that's where the woman comes in to make it work. Aanhin mo ang material na bagay kung masisira ang pamilya mo. Exactly. Why do you think the prayer is just give me enough. Give us enough. Not too much, not short, not too little. Just enough. Why do you think that's the prayer?
Yung point ko, yun lang yung point ko. Diba?
Yun na yung point mo? Puro material argument?
Most men can't provide sa mga
I'm sure they can. I'm sure they can. Maybe they cannot provide the way you think providing is. Correct, fix, surrender the issues to the Lord. I'm ready to walk away sa ganyang klaseng Diyan ko iniwalayan yung ex ko dahil sa pera. Dinadown ako.
partners nila. And itong mga strong independent woman na to, na laging naloloko ng mga lalaki, yun lang.
So for some reason, Queen Hera, strong independent women na laging naloloko, and for some reason, you think there's nothing wrong with you. Kung mga ganito, no? So, ang dami lalaki, no? O, sabi natin, isa-isa muna. For some reason, lahat silang niloko ka. And you think they're still wrong. You still think there's a problem with them and not with you, right? No problem with you, dude. It's just them. Then why continue? Shouldn't you be single? For life? And second, why do you keep choosing men na you can control? How about choose men that controls you? How about that? You know what? I have a suspicion. Because you cannot allow yourself to be controlled. Because you always want to be in control. If you want to be in control, edi wag mong sisihin kung sino yung mga men na napipili mo. Kung ayaw mong makontrol, then don't blame them because you chose them. In fact, you will never have a man na magkokontrol sa inyo. Alam niyo bakit? Because you don't prefer that. You're saying you want that. Yes, of course. But in reality, you don't want that because you're afraid. Because you're afraid to submit. You're afraid to go full-blown submission to your husband. That's it. Then you always end up sa mga same type nyo. Yung mga same type nyo is yung alam nyong kaya nyong kontrolin. That's it. That's the bottom line. God bless inyo lahat. Bye-bye.